Hey everyone, Dan here. I want to have a conversation about the upcoming election. And by upcoming, I mean it's over a year away. And by conversation, I mean I'm going to talk to you, and if you get bored, you can go watch Pizza Rat for the 20th time. But I think this upcoming election is one of the most dysfunctional, the candidates, I mean, are some of the most dysfunctional people that I have ever seen in a race for president, and it's worth talking about. So we have on the Democrat side right now, we have Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Those are the two people that everyone are really talking about. Joe Biden might get in, but really it's Hillary versus Bernie. Now, Hillary Clinton, I want to like her. I think it would be awesome to have a woman president, but you know what? That glass ceiling can stay solidly unbroken when it comes to her. I do not want her getting that job because, I'm sorry, she is attached to so many scandals. She has so much baggage that I think she would just be distracted in the White House. She wouldn't, I mean, people would not never take her seriously, and almost for rightly so. I mean, if you watch the Benghazi hearings, now I'll be fair, the Benghazi hearings were set up by the Republicans in a way as almost like a witch hunt to make her race for president tougher, but the Republicans succeeded because she made a fool of herself. She can't handle herself under pressure well, and I'm sorry, the President of the United States needs to be able to handle themselves under pressure. And Hillary Clinton changes her views on things more than any politician that I can remember. I mean, seriously, she's been against gay marriage and for gay marriage. She's been against the TPP, which is a big trade deal. I mean, she's against it now, but she was one of the people who was speaking out in favor of it. So, I mean, and those are just two examples. You can Google things that she's changed on, and it's kind of ridiculous. And you should not be changing your personal opinions based on what will get you more votes. You should be sharing your opinions based on your integrity. I will vote for a candidate, even if I don't agree 100% with them, if I believe that they have integrity. And actually, I believe Bernie Sanders does have integrity. He has been pretty solid on his views, and people can change their mind. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind when people change their mind because sometimes new information comes to light or situations change. That's totally fine. But with Hillary, it seems like every time she's changed her mind, it's a calculation for office. Bernie Sanders, the kind of times he's changed his mind, it's because things have changed, in my opinion. Again, these are all my opinions. Bernie Sanders, he sounds like he would be kind of an expensive president. He's almost like Oprah Winfrey, where it's like he just wants to give stuff away. And that can be problematic because you have to pay for it. But he has a plan in place. I'm not saying it will happen because he needs to get more than just his approval for these things. But I do believe Bernie Sanders has integrity. And look at the alternatives on the other side of the aisle. Let's talk about the leader in the Republican Party right now, Donald Trump. Now, I will be fair, I love Donald Trump as an entertainer. I watched every episode of The Apprentice, even The Apprentice ones that weren't celebrity editions, and I think he's fascinating. He's funny, he's confident, he's just, I don't know, he's interesting. He's very interesting. But as president, absolutely not. And in this campaign process, he has made such a fool of himself. Now, I've lost a lot of respect for him. He used to be actually one of those people I'd really like to meet, and now not so much. Because, I mean, with the things he said about people like minority races and women, I mean, he really needs to just learn to rein it in. I mean, there's a professionalism you need to be the president. I'm not saying that's the only thing you need, but he doesn't have political experience in terms of running for office. And maybe that's a good thing. So when you have to look at the other qualities, and I feel like, yes, he might be able to run a business well, even though some of his have struggled despite what he says. You have to be respectful of everyone, and he is not respectful of everyone. You don't have to agree with everyone, but my goodness, you need to be respectful. Then you have Jeb Bush. Let's talk about Jeb Bush. Now, first of all, if you watch commercials for Jeb Bush, he likes to totally deny that his last name is Bush, and I don't blame him. I mean, look at, we've had Bushes as presidents twice for a total of 12 years, and those 12 years aren't necessarily known as the best ones. So of course he wants to hide his last name in the ads. He was paid $26 million by a special interest group to run advertisements in Iowa, New Hampshire, and maybe one other place, and he's still having a hard time getting to double digits in the polls, and that says something. And man, if you had $26 million, wouldn't you just go to like Iowa and buy everyone breakfast, at least look good in that poll? I mean, my good, $26 million. Do you realize all the good that could be done with $26 million? That's just so, so depressing. And because I live in Massachusetts, I see a lot of the ads that flow over from New Hampshire, and I swear his name is just not on the ads. It's like Jeb for president. Yeah, no. Then there's Ben Carson. He's doing pretty well in the polls too, which I do not understand. I think it's the religious folks really driving him home because he's very, very evangelical. And it's okay to have faith, but he has been very offensive to people who are not Christians. I mean, he said he would never vote for a Muslim president. He said that the people in the Holocaust would have been better off if they had just stood up with guns and fought instead of just been taken away to camps. I mean, the things he says, And he says just about everything with zero energy. And like half of his interviews, he looks like he's asleep. So, I mean, you can't have that at the head of the country. And his wife is kind of hilarious. Like, I saw her interviewed, and she's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, they're kind of a mess. And I'm just, nope, let's move along. Then there's Carly Fiorina, our other chance at a woman president in this election. No. I wouldn't want Carly Fiorina to run where I work. I work at a library, and I wouldn't trust her there. Her record is terrible. And I really don't understand how the only reason we're talking about her now is because she has a lot of money and she came on like a pit bull at one of the Republican debates. She just attacked. And because she was a woman, she got more attention for it. And that's why we're talking about her now. I hope she doesn't win. Her views on things are crazy. I mean, she had this opinion about a Planned Parenthood video that was leaked. And then it turned out that the Planned Parenthood video was falsified, and she still stood by the falsified video. Now, I'm not going to weigh in on what my opinions of Planned Parenthood are, but I will say that if something is disproven, whether it be Planned Parenthood or whether it be any other place that puts out a video, and then it's proven to be falsified, you aren't a fool if you step forward and say, oh, I made a mistake. I actually have a lot of respect for any politician who comes forward and says they made a mistake. Now, Hillary Clinton did that with her emails, the whole email scandal. The problem with Hillary, though, coming forward and saying she made a mistake is she said she made a mistake, but she still won't release all of the emails, which makes me think if you're afraid to release some of the emails to the investigation, you probably do have something to hide. So that's why I don't have faith in her. But seriously, anytime you make a mistake, you can just admit it. Come on. And there's about 1 million other Republicans running right now. Again, it's just a mess over there. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all pans out. I just wanted to share my initial thoughts on people. So right now, I would be, if the election was today, I'd be voting for Bernie Sanders. But it is over a year away and a lot could happen. Who are you voting for? Share it in the comments, and I will look forward to talking to you again soon. See ya.